Or it'll say, let us continue with this transmission in the following way. We have discussed along this notion of living in the moment the idea that what you choose your state of being to be is of paramount importance. State of being is the most critical issue, which is why in The Secret it was mentioned that the secret to the secret was simply choosing to be happy. For no other reason other than that is your preferred state of being. Because there is no empirical physical reality, then state of being really becomes the only thing that determines the experience that you have in the idea of physical reality, because that's all it is. It's an experience, it's an idea. That is what is real about it, the experience. But physical reality itself is not real by itself on its own. As you choose the state of being that you prefer, or based on whatever beliefs you have within your physiological mind, personality, structure, as you choose beliefs that determine what your state of being will be, that, of course, is what determines how you experience this idea of yourself called physical reality. Because that's all it is. It's an experience of your own consciousness from a particular point of view, from a particular state of being that generates that kind of an effect within you, that you then call an externalized physical reality. Circumstances in physical reality, thus, are illusionary. They're just symbols. Again, as we have said many times, it's just a reflection based on what you are giving off. Now, The Secret calls this idea law of attraction the primary law. We refer to it as the third law of creation. It is, however, the first law of action, even within the four laws. Because the first law, that you exist, is simply a description of a state of being. The second law, that the one is all, the all are one, is also a description of the nature, of the structure of that state of being. But the third law, what you put out is what you get back, is the first law of action. And that is what is being said and the difference being made in The Secret by calling the law of attraction the first or primary law of the universe. Because it is the first law of action, and it's therefore the first law that actually brings about manifestational experience. Then the fourth law, everything changes except the first three laws, is what qualifies and colors that experience, what allows you different perspectives of the experience of creating the idea of physical reality. You will remember that what was also very important in The Secret was this idea that we talked about before about being passionate as expressed in the concept of play, of playing with everything that happens in your reality, really having an attitude of gratitude toward it so that you receive every experience you have in a playful way, and thus by receiving it in that playful way can do that much more with it, be that much more creative with it, allow it to be that much more flexible, malleable, stretchable, changeable, formable. Play. That energy is what allows physical reality to become like clay. So play with the clay of physical reality If you approach it from an energy, state of being, that is of a lower vibration, that's when the clay hardens. That's when it's unchanging in that state. But as soon as you start to be more playful with what's going on in your life, it softens and becomes clay-like, plastic, malleable, formable, changeable again, and gets in step with the fourth law, as you do. Change is the only constant. So in that sense, when you become more playful, you become more changeable. And as a result, your physical reality will mirror that changeability. Become easier to transform from one kind of reflection to another. Now, very important, very important, very important. This is where physical mind, once again, can sometimes get caught up in its own sense of control. And that is that when we talk about the idea that what you put out is what you get back, the physical mind, because, again, of how it looks at physical reality being the only thing there is, will assume that if it doesn't see an exact one-to-one reflection in the circumstances that surround you with what it is you believe you're giving off, you will think that something has failed. Again, I remind you, this is where you get caught in your own paradoxical trap. Even though it is true that what you put out is what you get back, and that by being in a certain state of being, that will determine what the circumstances around you are, the first stage of that, the first manifestation of that, will be usually, especially in your world of space and time, usually the first reflection will look the same as it used to. Because this gives you an opportunity to reinforce the state of being by responding to the circumstances that look the same differently than you did before. And that is where you then allow the circumstances to truly reflect that you have changed and demonstrate that you truly have changed by responding to the circumstances differently, even if they look the same as they used to. That's how it works. So the first reflection will usually be an echo of how it used to look. You must not respond to the echo as if that's the representation of your new state. You must respond to it, in a sense, as if you know it's just an echo, and that what you're putting out now, the new response to the old circumstances, that will solidify the vibration of your preferred state of being and truly allow the circumstances to change themselves and take their cue from the new vibration you're putting out, which is the absolute certainty that you are different. Because if you respond to the old echo in the same way you used to, you are not different. So in a sense, it's like you're testing yourself. It's like you're giving yourself an opportunity to decide whether you really do want the circumstances to change by first presenting yourself very often with the same set of circumstances to see if you respond differently to them, making a clear commitment that you have, in fact, vibrationally changed your state of being. Once you have then done that and respond differently to the same set of circumstances, then you have established that you truly have changed, and then the circumstances can reflect that change. So don't be fooled by the echo into thinking you've done something wrong by labeling it in the same way you used to. Oh, I didn't see what I wanted to get immediately. It looks the same as it did before. The same people are here giving me the same kind of feedback. I must have done something wrong, or something's not working. Or you find that you're reacting to it in the same way you used to, because if you do, you have not changed. So that's the self-reinforcing mechanism that gives you the opportunity to decide whether you really want to change that circumstance or not. Because again, remember, all belief systems by definition are self-reinforcing. They have to be. If belief systems were not self-reinforcing and making themselves seem like the only thing there is to believe in, you wouldn't be able to have an actual distinct, discrete belief system experience. If beliefs did not come with a self-reinforcing mechanism, you wouldn't be able to have a discrete physical experience. And because they come with a self-reinforcing mechanism, when you change your vibrational state, one of the last things to fade will be the self-reinforcing mechanism. It will present the same scenario to you once again, but it will be presented not as a concrete reality, but only as an illusion, only as an echo of what was, to give you a chance to really decide that you will break through that self-reinforcing mechanism by defining and labeling it differently than you used to, proving that you have changed, thus allowing the reflection to then truly come. That's how that works. Use that mechanism to your advantage by understanding very clearly. And if you wish to use this almost as a mantra, you certainly may. Again, as we discussed last night, all of these things are nothing more than permission slips that, if you decide they work for you, if you decide they resonate according to your frequency, will simply allow you to permit yourself to change in the way you prefer to. The mantra doesn't do it for you. It simply is a reflection of the belief system within you that says this is what you will allow to give you permission, to give yourself permission to change in the way you wish to. So use this as a mantra if you wish, if it works for you, knowing that you're doing it if you need it at all. And that is, again, the idea, not even so much the statement that circumstances do not determine state of being. State of being determines circumstances. Now, you can use that. However, we would also suggest something even simpler and something even stronger. And that is simply, and the mantra is this: circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. And again, listen to the way that this synchronistically translates in your English language. Circumstances don't matter. They do not create materialization. Only state of being matters. Only state of being materializes experience. So, the mantra is, anytime you find yourself doubting, stuck, fearful, because of what you believe the situation is, what you believe the circumstances are, you can, if you wish, use this little reminder. Circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. And then choose the state of being you prefer. And then redefine the circumstances from that state of being, so that you can erase the echo and allow the true reflection to then take form from your state of being. Circumstances don't matter. Only state of being matters. Now, we apologize if what we are about to do with you, to some of your physical minds, may sound, a little cultish. It isn't meant this way. It's simply meant to express to you something very important. It's one thing very often to your physical minds when you hear someone else's voice say something. It's another when your own voice says it. So, repeat out loud after me. Circumstances don't matter.
Circumstances don't matter.
Only my state of being matters.
Only my state of being matters.
Now, do it with excitement in a calm way. Because what this begets is simple certainty. Repeat. Circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters. One more time. Circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters. One more time. Circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters. Understand. When you say this to yourself in your own vibrational voice, you will start to listen. Because what you're doing by making this statement is what we talked about earlier. You are voicing a message from the higher self in language the physical mind understands. This mantra and all mantras of this nature are exactly that kind of tool. It is a way of translating for the physical mind in terms it can understand a communication from the higher self. That's why they're powerful, if you agree that it's a permission slip that works for you. So, anytime you find yourself in doubt, in fear, confused about the circumstances going on, stop. Say to yourself, out loud, no matter how many people might think you're crazy. Yes, of course, yes, of course, yes, of course, you can say it inside your head if you wish to. But if you're really being bold, and if it's really important to you to have the reality you prefer, then make a commitment and say it out loud. You don't have to shout, you don't have to scream. But stop and say, circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters. What state of being do I prefer? Then choose. And as you choose, behave that way toward the circumstances. You will be amazed at how quickly it will evaporate. You will take people off guard. At the very least, they might say, "Oh, she's crazy," and move away. And then you won't have to deal with them anymore. So one way or another, it will create the bubble reality of your preferred vibration, and will act as an organizing principle and driving engine to move out of that bubble any vibration that is incompatible. It is one of the strongest, most centering statements you can make for yourself. Circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters. What state of being do I prefer? Then behave that way. That's all there is to that idea of centering. That's all there is to the idea of redefining, re-identifying yourself, and remaining on the cutting edge, the leading edge, the crest of the wave of the transformation. That's really all it takes. Now, to whatever degree your physical mind's belief system will allow you to believe that is your process to work on, if such a process is even needed. But I guarantee you, if you can truly, as you say, get into the absolute certainty of that statement, if you can truly understand that it is a true message from your higher self in physical mind terminology, and you truly pay attention to it, don't just get caught up in rote repetition until your voice becomes a droning thing you no longer hear. But when you truly say it in your own voice and truly listen to your own voice and pay attention to the vibration of your own voice saying it, you will hear the truth in it. And as soon as you really hear the truth in it, you will feel your entire physical being go, "Oh, I don't have to try so hard. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. Only my state of being matters. Oh, oh, joy. What is this feeling? What is this feeling? Oh my gosh, it's so foreign. Joy? Unbridled, unconditional love and joy. I'm tingling. You know, I like this sensation. I think I'll create more of it. Now, then. We love your paradoxical language. No wonder you're so confused. Now, then. Now or then? All right. Here and now, let us have sharing with questions if you wish. Yes. All right. Organize how you wish.
People can come up here to the mic. There's 3 seats here. Hi, Bashar.
And to you, a good day.
Thank you so much for this session. It is just hitting the spot for me, and I think other people here.
Thank you for allowing us to hit your spot.
I'm really resonating with so much of what you're saying, and the issue, I just want to share where I'm at in my state of being at this time.
All right.
And some of the joy and other things I'm dealing with. So my organization, Create Now,
yes,
which helps troubled youth through the arts, is exploding in many different ways.
All right.
I'm touching people around the world. I'm getting top media exposure. I'm getting recognition and awards for my work, and I'm sharing the secret with many of the troubled kids that I'm serving.
May I ask you to stop right there for a moment?
Sure.
Listen to the tonal quality of this recitation. You can tell just by listening to the way you are inflecting each of those statements that eventually you will arrive at a but.
Yes, I understand.
In other words, each of those statements unto itself should be a definitive statement with an absolutely energetic definitive stop that has nothing to do with leading to a but.
Yes.
And that's the difference in the state of being you need as opposed to the state of being you're creating.
Thank you. That's wonderful. So it should be, I'm experiencing all of this joy and recognition, and I'm thrilled.
Yes. Are you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for reflecting that to me.
My pleasure.
The challenge I'm having is
Yes.
that
It's all right to acknowledge the challenge as long as it is definitively different than the recognition of what you are not challenged by, so that they are not interlinked and connected. You follow me?
Yes, and I'm...
So that you recognize that it's two different states of being and you can deal with it as such.
Yes.
So very good. Your challenge is?
I'm not getting the material abundance that I need to live a comfortable life.
A comfortable life.
And
Which means what?
Well, the primary issue is I have my basic needs fed at the moment.
Basic needs, all right.
Room and shelter and food
Yes.
and whatever.
Maybe you should expand your definition of basic needs.
Yes, and my other basic need is I'm driving a 14-year-old car with no air conditioning,
Yes.
and it's very uncomfortable.
All right.
And I've been using The Secret for months
I see.
to
what?
feel the excitement of
Yes.
having my dream car, which would be a Prius.
Yes.
I'm feeling it. I'm visualizing it. I'm
Yes.
pretending I'm having one. I've
Have you
sat in
gone
one.
to the car dealer?
I've sat in one. I've been hesitant because my
Yes.
credit is not there, and normally the car dealers won't let you take a ride unless they go through a credit check.
Normally.
Yes.
You see, that's where you're at.
Well,
normal.
Uh-huh.
What's normal got to do with what you prefer to be? This is where we hearken back to the example we gave before your lunch break. Can the rational mind actually imagine the possibility that something could happen out of the blue with any logical appearing connection?
Yes.
Can you imagine the car manifesting without your rational mind having to figure out how it would normally have to happen.
Yes.
Because you see, that's what you're muddying this up with, is no matter how excited you get, you still bring to bear the idea of the rational mind's need to know how the heck is this going to happen.
Right, and that's why I related so much to what you've been saying about
Yes.
this idea of control and letting go and letting
Yes.
the higher self control it.
Yes.
And I appreciate that so much.
Well, all right, then, if so, use it. And start today by allowing yourself to recognize that circumstances don't matter. So anything that you now have labeled or mentioned that is in your physical mind's estimation a circumstance connected to the manifestation of the car, let the circumstances go. The circumstances don't matter. Only the state of being does. So if you are willing to simply be the state of being of someone who has the car and absolutely forget about how that's supposed to happen, then you will allow your reality to attract that idea. But that's not what you're doing.
Well, for instance, I received a card in the mail from a credit card company through my business
Yes.
offering me a loan to go get a car at any car dealer.
But
But that means I have to go through my board of directors
you
and take out a loan.
you see, you have used it enough to attract an opportunity within the realm of your belief system, yet at the same time, because it's only within the realm of your physical mind's belief system, it always comes with a caveat
Yes.
of how.
Right.
You need to disassociate this completely. You have proven to yourself you can attract by attracting the loan. But the idea is that it only came in a form that is reflective of the fact that you still think there are strings attached.
Yes.
Well, you have to let that go. You have to completely let go of that concept entirely in order to experience the kind of manifestation that we and the secret are talking about.
So would that mean pursuing the loan and not worrying about the strings attached?
It depends on what you think your belief system can handle. But what it actually empirically means is allowing yourself to simply let go of how you think it must happen at all, and being in a state of freedom that way, being inspired to allow your imagination to move you to do things you would otherwise not normally do. Go to a car manufacturer and say, I am doing this in the world. We would love it if you would donate a car for our use. Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
There are many, many, many things you could do that would not be, in your mind's estimation, normal. That's just one small example. But the point is you will never be creatively inspired to even think of those kinds of things if you are not actually willing to be in the state of being you want to be in and forget the circumstances. It will never come to you to think about that, to ask something that other people would think that's outrageous. Who would ever just give us a car? That'll never happen. I have to do this. I have to do that. It must come with this string. It must come that way. You have to let all of those assumptions go, because that's all they are. They are assumptions. And again, don't get caught up in it again by saying, oh, all right, I'm just going to let all that go. And now I'm just going to be in the state of being. Oh, my car didn't show up today. Something's wrong. Once again, you went right back into assumptions. Just be the state of being. Use the car as a symbol. Let it come to you how it will. Let the higher self bring it how it needs to come. And just get on with your life, staying in the state of being you prefer to be in, and acting through inspiration and imagination on the things that pop up symbolically that have to do with that when and where you can, again, without expectation, without assumption, and without needing to know how that might actually work. Just do it because you're moved to do it. So if you happen to be in that state of being, and you happen to be walking down the sidewalk, and you happen to be walking past a car dealership, and walking past the dealership reminds you of the joy of being in that car. Present tense, not future, present tense. The joy of having that car, then that joy could inspire you to suddenly turn on your heel, run up the driveway, walk into the showroom and say, "Give me a car. I deserve it, and this is why." And just see what happens. And even if it doesn't happen the way you think, starting to behave that way will get you into the habit of being in the proper state where anything can happen. You need to loosen up the structure that you have imposed upon how you think you need to go about doing this, so that you look a little bit crazy. It's all right. Be a little bit crazy. It's all right to be just a little bit crazy. Because you see, if you're just a little bit crazy in just the right way, people just say, "She's creative." Being creative is being a little bit crazy in just the right vibration. With that in mind, you should understand God's completely insane. Who else but an insane being would think up your planet? Oh! But who else but an insane being would believe that unconditional love and unending ecstasy and joy are also normal? But that's the reality. All that is. Does this make some sense?
It does, and it relates to the second part of this, which is all coming into place for me, which is that the other passion that I have are my screenplays and the book I'm working on, and the fear that sometimes creeps into my thoughts that how can I do both when I have so much to juggle now?
But you already do understand, as we have said many times, that your passion and your joy and the thing that excites you the most is not only the driving engine, but also the organizing principle, which will allow everything to mesh in perfect harmony and synchronicity if it is truly representative of the state of being of your true self. So there is, again, no need to worry. What's the word? How is all that going to fit? It just will.
Thank you so much for reflecting that to me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Bashar. You're awesome.
I know. We know that when we say, "It just will," that there are still portions of your physical mind going, "I can't accept that, it's too vague." In this case, vagueness is your friend. Relax your hold, the stranglehold that many of you have on how things need to happen, and allow your higher self to do its job. The phrase, "it just will," is the physical mind's translation of the higher self's message, "I've got it, relax."
Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you. You were talking about permission slips and methodologies.
I was.
Yes. A long time ago, I heard a ramp the tape saying that pyramids were an amplifier. They enhanced one's ability to manifest. And I was wondering if it's just a permission slip.
Everything is just a permission slip. That doesn't mean that that's not what those things do, because you have created them to do so as a reflection to you that allows you to be who you are. It's, remember, not this or that, it's this and that. Spiritual growth is the product of including all the definitions and recognizing that all the definitions are true and not excluding anything, and just getting that to work for you. So yes, pyramids are like amplifiers. They're like focusing lenses for electromagnetic energy. Yes, they do that. but they are only an idea in your consciousness. So who's actually doing it? You are. Because there is no physical reality. When you say the pyramids, you're talking about something as if it actually existed outside your consciousness. Just because it's made of stone and has been around for thousands of years doesn't mean it's outside your consciousness. Does that make sense?
Perfectly, thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
And to you, good day.
I would love to own my own home.
Oh, you go right ahead then.
Now, in the secret,
Yes.
it would seem, to my understanding,
Yes.
that what one should do is focus on the exact perfect home for me.
Yes.
Now,
This functions as a template. Because you see, again, it's a permission slip. The home may or may not look exactly like you imagine it. But whatever in your mind, whatever in your visualization is the ideal representation, the ideal permission slip, will resonate with your preferred vibration. And then the higher self will bring you the idea that actually is representative of your true high frequency, even if it's a little bit different than what your physical mind was capable of imagining. But it still functions as a template to get you on the right resonant frequency. That's what it's for. So if you use it, imagine it in all the details you can, perfectly as you can, it will get you more excited because it's more representative of what you believe you want. And by getting more excited, you will then attract exactly what will really serve you. Make sense?
it does.
So it's the idea of focusing on a specific, but allowing the general to manifest in a specific way that is actually more representative than anything your physical mind could actually have imagined. Because you see, when people insist that it must look exactly this way, exactly that way, sometimes they may be right on in alignment, and they may get exactly that reflection. But the point is that if you don't insist that it must look exactly that way, and if you're open to the possibility that it could be something grander, your higher self will always bring you something better. So if you insist it must be this way, you're actually insisting that it shouldn't be even better than you can imagine. Does that make sense?
Well, what I was wondering is if,
Yes.
if it's possible, my way seems to be to walk down the street and
Yes.
I'd imagine living in that house, in that house, in
Yes.
that house. What would it
Yes.
be like to live in a tree?
All
What would
right.
it be like to live in a bus station? How could
All
I
right.
dilute?
All right, but
My
that's perhaps
focus.
simply the process you enjoy to give yourself the understanding that you can imagine anything and any one of those things could come to pass. And it gives you the opportunity to understand that all of those choices are equally valid.
But is it a roundabout way? Do I have to live in all these places before I get
No.
the right one?
No, you don't have to. You may only be proving to yourself that all the choices are equal, which means that no one has to stand out, which means being equal, you can choose the one you prefer. But that may just be your way of allowing all the choices to seem equal.
A level playing ground.
Exactly. Because only when all choices are valid and all choices are allowed to be equal and no choices are judged as being less than another choice or better than another choice, do you actually give yourself the ability to actually choose what you prefer. Because when you invalidate something, all your energy goes towards suppressing its validity. And that's what manifests. Make sense?
Thank you, yes.
Does that help?
It does.
Then happy walking.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And you good day.
Thank you for teaching us.
Thank you for teaching us.
My question is with regard to having multiple highest joys at different times. And
Yes.
having-
Multiple expressions of one highest joy. Anytime you appear to have different things that have equal amounts of excitement and joy, they might simply be different expressions of one overriding highest joy that you haven't yet actually labeled or identified.
I see.
For example, someone may bounce all around between the idea of painting, singing, writing, and they say, oh, well, I have all these highest joys. No, They have one highest joy of expressing communication creatively. And painting, singing, and writing are simply different expressions of that one highest joy. Knowing it that way can help remove the confusion about which way to go. Because if you understand that all of these things may be simply different expressions of one highest joy, then it doesn't matter which one you do at any given moment.
I see.
Does that help?
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Bashar. My other question
Yes.
is with regard to helping to better incorporate your teachings, and the mantra that you provided just now
Yes.
will be of great help. And,
All right. Use it if you wish.
And all the tools and just reviewing your material will be of great help. I was also wondering if there will be any opportunities to be among your people as a kind of study abroad type situation.
Eventually.
In order to learn by example and better internalize.
Eventually.
Okay.
Somewhere before your year of 2033.
Thank you, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So good to talk to you.
And you as well.
I've got two quick questions. The first one is I'm facing a challenge right now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I know it. Thank you. It's really
Exciting?
if you say so.
Thank you. Do you say so?
No, I don't.
Oh, all right. Your choice.
It's I'm I'm trying to quit smoking, and I'm
Trying?
really trying.
I see.
And I'm on these pills that help suppress the cravings, and
All
those
right.
have helped a bit.
All right.
This is the first time that I've really decided and committed.
Yes.
And so I'm down. I've gone down, and the latest one is I got down from 12 to 3,
Oh,
and then
all
I
right.
got down from 3 to 1.
Yes.
And then I went up again to 3.
All right.
And the cravings just take over my body, and I'm just like, I can't think unless I.
Oh, all right.
And
Would
what
you
do I do?
like to do a completely thorough detoxification of your body?
No, but I'm willing.
No?
Doesn't
There's
sound
that
like
wonderful
fun. It
paradoxical
doesn't sound
language
like
again.
fun to me.
No, but I'm willing. No, but yes. Yes, but no.
I'm just being honest. It
thank
doesn't
you.
sound like fun. However,
Let me ask you,
Yes.
why are you uncertain about being willing to do a detoxification if the detoxification might remove the craving?
Because it sounds like it won't feel good.
Why do you think that?
That's a good point because I haven't.
Thank
done
you.
I
Who
haven't-
told you that detoxification has to feel bad?
I did.
Yeah, why?
So I guess so. I wouldn't do it.
Thank you. Because you don't want to stop.
Well, part of me absolutely doesn't want to stop.
There are no part of you.
Oh.
There is you or there is not you.
Okay.
You see, this is part of the problem that you're having. Is you're not defining yourself holistically, but you're defining yourself as a bunch of conflicting parts.
Uh-huh.
So if you define yourself holistically and really be honest, as you say, then you will honestly admit the you are now doesn't want to stop.
Okay, I do admit that.
Thank you. Now, there is another you that does want to stop, but even more important than that, there is another you that never started. You understand?
No.
All right, let us explain. This is what we euphemistically call in your language the 13th step. Some of you are ready for this, some of you are not. It's all right, no judgment. But let us explain this idea and see if your mind can wrap around it.
Okay. Yes.
All right? All right. You understand the idea that we have expressed many times that any change is a total change?
Yes.
Yes or yes?
Yes. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Then explain it to me.
Oh, shoot.
You see, there's going to be a test on some of this.
Well, when you change it...
Because you might just be blowing smoke in my eye.
I might be. When you change something, you've said it's a total change because it shifts it from one thing to another.
What does that mean? What do you mean, one thing to another?
I'm busted.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you for being truly honest. Here's what we mean. Imagine, in your mind's eye, a blue cube. Do you see it?
Yes.
All right. It has 6 blue sides. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Now, imagine in your mind's eye a cube with 5 blue sides and 1 red one. Do you see it?
Yes.
All right. Now, there are 2 ways primarily to look at this. You could say that there is a blue cube and you have made one small change to that blue cube by changing one of its sides to red. But it's the same cube with just one small change, a red side. Or you could say, wait a minute, a totally blue cube and a cube with 5 blue sides and 1 red one are 2 completely different cubes. Yeah. Completely different cubes. One has nothing to do with the other. They're 2 completely different cubes, 2 completely different realities, 2 completely different universes, unto themselves, each with their own qualities, intact, having nothing to do with one another. You follow me?
Yes.
So, when we talk about the idea that every change is a total change, the idea is that if you take one thing, you can think you're making a small change in that thing, or you can realize that if you change anything, you've changed the whole thing to another thing altogether, in another reality altogether, with its own unique qualities, having nothing to do with the cube that was there a moment ago. You follow me so far?
Yes.
So, this also is done with yourself as a personality. You must understand that what you are as a person, what you are as a personality, is an artificial construct. It's a temporary mask that you're projecting with your consciousness. You follow me?
Yes.
All right. So the idea of the urge to smoke, the craving, that exists as a component in one personality equation. That personality equation is one person, a whole person, a complete person unto herself in her own universe.
Yes.
Now, there is also the idea that if you don't smoke, then there is also a universe for that person. A person who has quit smoking is its own idea. And one of the qualities of that description, one of the qualities of that equation is you are someone who used to smoke. That's a description unto itself.
Yes.
There is also another reality of a version of you that never did smoke. Ever. And so, that person cannot have cravings because they never started smoking. You follow me? All right. Now, the way to be that person is to understand the following notion. There is only here and now. You follow me?
Yes.
This is all there is. There is only one moment in creation. So, anything you think of as a different moment, a different reality, is actually the same one moment from a different point of view.
Yes.
All right. Now, so you could say, all right, there is a version of me that does not smoke. And in understanding that everything exists only in the now, then you also understand that the concept of the past and the concept of the future are just illusionary. Yes. You follow me? All right. If you know that the past is illusionary, then you must also follow the next chain in the logic, which is the past does not create the present. Instead, if you only exist now and the past is an illusion, it's the present that creates the past. Every single person that you choose to be at any given moment has her own past, her own unique past, different from any other version's past. So if you choose to be a person that does not smoke now, you can also recognize that that person now must, by definition, have a past wherein she never did smoke. And that's why she doesn't smoke now.
Wow.
Yes.
So I have to convince myself of that.
Yes. But you see, it's not just a matter of convincing. It's simply a matter of recognizing what the actual nature and structure of existence actually is like. Because once you understand what I've explained to you, it will make total sense that what you define yourself to be now actually creates a new past for that new person. It has to. Because in a space-time frame reference, in order to be whoever it is you're defining yourself to be now, with respect to the idea of causality as you believe in it in space-time, to be who you are now, that person has to have had a specific kind of past in order to be that person, because you believe that the past creates the present. So use that belief to your advantage by knowing that if you change the person you are also allowing yourself to change the past that will then allow you to be the person you want to be in the present. By becoming someone who never smoked, and therefore why should she have cravings? She never smoked. When you are that person, the cravings won't exist because they're not a part of the equation that makes up the definition of who you are as a person, because they never did. Does this make some sense to your mind?
It does, and it seems like, wouldn't that be an amazing gift for that habit to give to me on the positive side?
Yes. Well, you see, that's why many of you do what you do. Remember that because of the kind of reality you have created, and the kind of detachment that you have created, and the kind of forgetfulness you have created for yourself about who you really are, you are still very, very clever and creative beings. And very often, if the only way to find out what you are is by finding out what you are not, then that's the way you'll do it. And so sometimes you will choose paths that would seem to be negative and detrimental and destructive to you, so that you can finally get to a realization that really isn't who I prefer to be. And therefore, yes, it has served you in a positive way. And the fact that you just said that and had that recognition means that that recognition in that 1 second actually came from the reality of a person who never smoked. You follow me?
I do.
All right.
I do. That's
So,
good.
mull this around, see if that works for you, and if it does, go forth in that state of being. Why? Because circumstances don't matter. Only my state of being matters. What state of being do I prefer to be?
And I can't just be somebody who smokes one cigarette and get
You
through
can. Yes, you
get
can.
through the transformation.
That is an equally valid idea. Yes, yes, yes. That's an equally valid idea. Many of you have known of people who have drank and smoked and partied all night long and lived to be 100.
Yes.
And you go, how do they do that? Because they absolutely believe, absolutely are aligned with their belief system that they can do that and live to be 100. So the only question to ask yourself is, do you actually believe that you can have one cigarette every so often and also still go through the transformation in the way that you prefer to?
No, I don't.
There you go.
There you go.
So you have just revealed to yourself what the actual definition of the state of being is that you actually prefer. And so if you prefer that, suddenly the things that to the other you might seem onerous, such as a detox, to the new you will seem exciting, and you can't wait to do it because it's going to be fun, and I'm going to learn so much by doing it, and I'm going to feel so great when I do it, and it's going to be so much fun, and I'm going to have so much help, and it's going to be exactly the right place at the right time, and oh boy, I can't wait. Because that's the you prefer to be. Make sense?
Yes.
So remember, you cannot perceive what you are not the vibration of. Things are invisible to you when you're not in the proper vibratory state. But when you are the person you prefer to be, things that used to look one way to another you will look differently to the new one. So the you that says, well, that's going to be difficult, it's going to be unpleasant, that's the old you talking.
Right.
It's not the new you talking.
Right.
So when you truly choose to be the new you, you will see things in a different way. And you will experience things in a different way. You have sayings on your planet, don't you?
Yes.
One man's meat is another man's poison.
Yes.
Well, where do you think these ideas come from? The state of being utterly determines how you actually experience your reality. It has nothing to do with the thing itself. A detox is neutral. It's just a thing. It's just a circumstance. And what do we say about circumstance?
They don't matter.
They don't. Only the state
Only
of
the
being
state of
matters.
Yes.
And that's what will determine how you experience the circumstance. Positive meaning in, positive effect out. Negative meaning in, negative effect out. Law of attraction. Third law of creation. What you put out is what you get back. Detox, label it positive, label it negative. The very same thing can go both ways. It can be the worst experience of your life. It can be the best experience of your life. It depends on where you are coming from. Make sense?
Yes.
Does this help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Was
you.
it good for you?
It was just as good for me. Thank you. Thank you. The other quick question that I have is, as a channel, you know this. I've been writing a book on world peace for 15 years.
Yes.
When this is something I want to understand about that process. When my guides and unseen friends who are collaborating with me on this,
Yes.
download a concept to me,
Yes.
and I just, in a sense, take down the download.
Yes.
Right? Then I go to my computer and I start to create an article out of it.
Yes.
Right, for the book.
Yes.
As I start to enter it,
Yes.
then I see that things are in something here and there is not in the right place. So I
All right.
change it. Right?
Yes.
Then the whole process becomes moving the sentences around
Yes.
until they go boing.
Yes.
That process can take 5 or 6 hours.
So,
Well,
let me ask you a
was wondering if
question.
I'm doing
Let me
something
ask
wrong.
you a question.
Okay.
When you're doing it, does it seem like it actually took 5 or 6 hours, or are you just going off of the clock to figure that out? Does it feel like it took that long?
Only occasionally if I get a little frustrated because
All
it's
right.
not going fast
There's
enough.
your clue right there. Remember that when you live in the moment, time flies not because you're ignoring it. Time flies because you're not creating as much of it. So when you live in the moment and what you're doing is fun, and you have fun with what you're doing, it will not seem to take very much time because you're not creating so much time in which to do it. When you get frustrated, you're falling back on your negative belief system and bringing up details that require time to look at in your processing. So, when you allow it to be a more holistic thing, time will collapse, you will not create as much of it. It will not matter how long it seems to take, because to you it will only seem fleeting. Nevertheless, if suddenly you find yourself getting frustrated and it feels like it's taking more time, then that's exactly the moment to stop and deal with the frustration itself and not keep going, because the writing has now been the process that put you in touch with what you really need to get in touch with, why you're frustrated. So that you can examine your belief system and then holistically come back into a state of being that will then allow you to collapse time again and continue on with the project.
And being the synergy.
Yes.
The synergy
And
of it.
that's collaboration. You see, your friends are not just downloading data. They are downloading energy that allows you to go through these processes so that you will actually be a better downloader. You follow me? They are clearing out the blockages.
Oh.
Just
Oh,
like
oh.
a detox would.
I thought they were teaching me the concept by having me have to
They
come
are.
up with it.
They are, but they're giving
and
you
figure it
energy that
out.
urges you into those positions so that you have to face those issues. And when you face them, you're clearing out the blockages.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, yes. They're working with you on many different levels. All of you. They work with you on many different levels, not just the level your physical mind thinks it's being interacted with upon. It's being interacted with upon many, many, many levels. And that's the result of one of the interactions. Coming to that point, coming to that realization, coming to those recognitions is the result of conversations you don't hear with your ears or your head, but conversations you hear with your heart, which is actually the seat of the soul. And it is from the heart that your mind ought to be taking directions, not the other way around. Make sense?
Yeah.
Does this help?
Yeah, I just thought they were making me understand the concept, like where it becomes second nature
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
by having to move it all around, because then
That too.
I'm co-creating
Yes.
and understanding.
It's a
and then-
collaboration
then
on
I'm-
many levels. Yes, not just this or that, this
it's
and
this
that,
and that, this and that,
this and that. If you want that to be another mantra, so be it.
this and that.
Not just this or that, this and that.
Yes, thank you.
Circumstances don't matter, only state of being matters, not this or that, this and that.
Wonderful. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
You see, this is part and parcel. And why The Secret is so good for you as a product is because over 23 orbits of your planet, we have discussed with you, and many other beings have discussed with you for a long time, many different kinds of approaches, many different kinds of perspectives, many different kinds of so-called downloads or products. The fact that things like The Secret put them all in one place so that you can constantly be reminded of all the different tools, all the different permission slips, all the different downloads, all at once is what it's all about. Because very often, again, because of your choice to compartmentalize yourself, you'll remember one thing we may have said and completely forget to add the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh things we said to be able to use it as one holistic permission slip. So the idea of always remembering to add all the principles, to always look at life from all the principles that have been talked about is the key. To look at life and experience life holistically, remembering all the points of view that are germane for your particular vibration instead of just attacking them one at a time and wondering why they don't seem to work. Because you're not supporting them with all the other things that go along with them. You're not looking at it holistically. All right? All right.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Oh, thank you. First, I would just like to thank you, an infinite amount of thank yous for your guidance and teachings.
Well, all right. We'll wait until all of those thank yous have been processed.
Great.
An infinite amount, you say. All right.
Yeah.
This may take no time at all. Go ahead.
You have made mention before that before we start discovering other planets and civilizations on other planets, we have yet to discover many things about our own planet.
Yes.
Are you referring to how at one point we believed our planet to be flat, then we discovered that it was round, and that right now we believe it to be solid, where in fact it is hollow?
Well, that's one aspect of this, but what we were actually specifically referring to in those dialogues was the idea that before you can actually really learn to communicate with other civilizations, it's best to learn to communicate not only with your own, but also with the other civilizations that exist on your own world, the other cultures, such as dolphins and other animals and trees and other people of that nature. To learn how to communicate with them will go a long way toward helping you learn how to communicate with other civilizations among the stars as well. You have the distinct advantage of having several species on your planet, the dolphin especially and the whales among them, who are truly distinct parallel alien species cohabiting your own world. You have a perfect opportunity to learn how to communicate with an alien species in your own oceans. Learning how to do that will go a long way toward opening up dialogues with beings from other planets.
So can you confirm reports that there is an advanced civilization of people living inside of our Earth who would be descendants of ancient Lemuria and Atlantis?
Yes and no.
Okay.
This and that. Because many of your people take that with their physical mind too physically literally. No, there are no hollow spaces in the earth containing physical civilizations. Yes, there are inner dimensions inside the earth, so to speak, vibrationally, which, if you entered them, would appear to be physically inside your earth, but are in other dimensions that contain advanced civilizations. Yes.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Can you describe it or describe
Which one?
the differences between our civilization on Earth
Yes.
and the civilization inside? The temperature.
What I'm saying is, which civilization inside? You're talking about multidimensional levels with multiple civilizations.
I'm unfamiliar with the different civilizations. Can you pick one?
Yes. You will find that what you have referred to as Lemurian does exist still in another dimension connected to the vibration of your Earth through various dimensional gates, because they still act as a vibratory guidance system that permeates into your dimension and, in a sense, urges you or invites you toward relating to nature more strongly, more naturally, because they did so intuitively and instinctively without the idea of so much of what you now call modern rational thought. And in that environment, in that dimension, it's very much like it used to be on the physical earth when they inhabited it, which is, in that sense, tropical, humid, thick, dense, very dense atmosphere, almost fog-like in that sense. And there is a reason for this that we will get into at the end of this transmission that has to do with the importance of water. But it is through that connection of water that energy permeates into your dimension through the oceans and into the land, and invites all to dive into the ocean, dive into themselves, dive into nature more deeply. So they are still interacting with you in certain ways, but it is not literally physically inside the earth. It is interdimensionally inside the earth. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
And
our belief system supersedes everything. So does this mean that the food that we eat, the toxins that we consume, are secondary to if we choose to believe that they are not toxic?
Yes, but how many of you really need to spend time changing your belief to overcome what most of you have agreed to chemically believe is true, as opposed to changing your belief by simply changing your behavior and eating better food? That's the question, is in what way do you honor your belief system along the path of least resistance? For example, yes, of course, it is absolutely possible, and several people on your planet in your history have done this. It is completely possible to erase the effect of gravity and levitate. Of course it is. But the general agreement of playing the Earth game puts those kinds of things for most of you on automatic pilot, so you don't have to think about it, because that's not always really representative of the theme that you're playing out. And so you don't have to think about whether or not you're stuck to the ground. You simply agree that gravity exists, and you abide by it generally for most of your life. If it is really important for the person that you are to shift your belief system in such a way that you cancel the effect of gravity or cancel the effect of the toxins, then yes, by all means, you can do that. But you have to make an honest determination as to whether or not it's really necessary and really representative of the path of least resistance. Because it may be simply easier and more apropos for what you're doing to simply change the behavior than change what you call the laws of physics, which can be done But most of you don't need to bother to do it that way because there are so many more easier ways to do it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And the easier ways to do it are usually representative of where the real process lies, in your beliefs and in your behaviors. Some of you will find that from time to time, when you do align yourselves completely, that in those moments you may immediately supersede all those typical notions. And in that moment, things that normally might cause detrimental effects will be completely neutralized. That certainly also has happened on your planet. Your doctors call them miracle cures. You follow me?
Yes.
So, yes, absolutely it's possible. The only question is that what you really need to express your path of least resistance? It's up to you to decide, but you must be honest about it, rather than fighting what you might turn into an uphill battle, attempting to overcome something that does not need to be overcome to actually prove your theme out. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're the bomb, dude.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I wondered if you could help me understand something.
I don't know. That's up to you, really.
About 4 months ago, when I was asleep at night, and I was woken up all of a sudden in the middle of the night, and I thought, it's too late. My alarms have gone off. I should have been up, half an hour ago. And then I realized the alarms hadn't gone off at all. And I looked, and everything around me, my room was lit up and it was orange.
Yes.
And I thought, I must be dreaming. This is surreal. This must be a dream.
Yes.
And then I thought, but then this must be a lucid dream because I'm thinking.
That you're dreaming.
Yeah, and then I kind of thought, well, maybe it's a lucid dream, not that I've ever had
Which
it.
means what to you?
That would be a dream in which you felt that you're awake.
And means what? That you actually are.
Uh-huh.
In your higher consciousness.
Right. I mean, I've never been aware of having had a lucid dream, though.
Well, now you are.
And then I kind of pinched myself to see if I was awake, and then I thought, I really am awake.
Yes, that's what I said. You're awake.
And I blinked,
But you're looking from the perspective of your higher self.
And I blinked my eyes, and it didn't go away, and I sat up, and it was still there, and it was still orange, and it was like...
Congratulations. Aren't you glad that happened?
And then gradually, after a while, as I was looking at it, and then it sort of slowly faded away.
Yes, as you shifted your consciousness back into the physical reality perspective.
So was that part of me, or was it something that came to visit me? Or?
It was part of you, as I just said. You're looking at reality from your higher self's perspective.
So why
from the template level.
Why was it orange?
It represents the level of energy that you are dealing with symbolically as you're going up the chakra spectrum. The idea is that orange is the one vibrationally above red. It's simply an indication that you have gone from what you consider to be a grounded level to the next higher level, right above physical reality. The template reality.
But that's still pretty low down, right? That's not purple.
Well, not to be judgmental about it, but vibrationally, yes. But a step up is a step up, isn't it?
I suppose. So what does it mean if I'm seeing orange then? What does that mean?
I just told you. You're seeing from the template level higher self reality. You have moved your eyes, so to speak, your spiritual eyes, your consciousness eyes, up like looking through a periscope from a higher perspective. Still connected to physical reality, but knowing from the vibrational color that you are slightly above the vibration of physical reality, which would be symbolized by red. You follow me?
So why did I see it in the middle of the night all of a sudden?
Because that's when you're relaxed and allowed it to happen. That's when your physical mind, in that sense, allowed itself to relax enough to be willing to let you see from a higher perspective without being afraid. So that you can now integrate those two levels. You can remember that experience, and as you remember it, you will actually recreate that frequency within yourself and start blending those two together. And as you blend those together, and if you wish to keep doing that, you can. And then the next time you may see that everything is yellow. And then the next time everything is green. Then the next time everything is blue. The next time everything is indigo. The next time everything is violet. and you can take yourself up the vibrational ladder that way. So you've given yourself an opportunity to step on the first rung and see how it feels. And now that you've done that, you can stretch farther. All you have to do is integrate what you've experienced and be open and willing to experience more. And it will continue to grow. This is your way of doing it.
So maybe I should wish to see a yellow light in the middle of the night, or a green light.
You can wish it, but it's not really about wishing it. It's about allowing and accepting what happened to be representative of the fact that you have stretched and not putting any judgment on it so that you can integrate it, and it's the integration that will allow you to go further. More than the wishing of it. You follow me? Because the pace at which you will do it will be perfect for you. And if you simply wish it with your physical mind, you may become frustrated when it doesn't happen in the timing you think it should. So I would relax the wishing and simply have more allowing, knowing that that's where you're going.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Does that help?
That helps.
Pleasant dreams.
Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome. What is your physical timing for this segment of the transmission? All right. Nevertheless, being on your mark of 3, we will allow for a short break before we continue with more understanding of the nature of the power of how you can bring water into play with regard to expanding your acceleration and your synchronicity to delve more deeply into the connection between you and your higher self. Enjoy your short break. How's it going?